Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Monday, October the 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween, everybody out there. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash and I pretty fired up about this slate, talking for a minute before we jumped on, and this is flirting with a 5-crown slate for both of us tonight. That's very unusual, Crash.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at baseball alone, I think I had 3 5-crown slates all season out of
Wow.
162, so that tells you what I think of this slate. Yeah, this is my favorite slate of the season so far. I just really like the way it's come together. I like the way the ownership looks right now, and I think we can really slam this thing home. So
I hope so. I mean, it's the right size slate, 7 gamers, so everybody always likes that. We've got all the games in there, so that's a good thing. Starting at 7 p.m. So should be a good one. We've got some news still that we have to get. There's still some unknown question marks that could affect my slate rating as well, but hopefully we get that. A lot of it's in the early games, so we should get the majority of that information.
Right.
No doubt. Well, I want to say hello to everybody in chat real quick. We have the first time person being the first one in, and it's Jay Blazing wins the big prize today on Halloween. Great to have you in here with us, Jay. Thanks for getting in there early. Rodney Pollard got hoodwinked there. Usually he jumps in there early, but he's in there and appreciate you. Hollis Harris, outstanding, man. Well, don't worry about these Q tags. We're going to go through them today, and they're going to get this afternoon. And then as we get closer to lock, those will start being eliminated here pretty quick. And I think it's going to be an advantage for us for some of the guys that have a Q tag that they're going to play, that we're going to own, or going to grab less ownership. And then there's some guys that we can count out, and in doing that, elevate some other people on the same team. So that's sort of what's built up some of my 5-crown possibility here. Stacks Money 77, good to see you, man. Aaron Sampson, Aloysius Fives in. Brad Tremblay, great to see you with us, Brad. I think you've been in here one or two other times, but awesome to have you in here. Pain Blank SM, also known as Dead President, what is up, man? King of all trades, sending us some good Halloween Monday vibes. Really do appreciate that. The Prince is in the house. JT himself, Mr. Justin Timberlake's with us. Rose is in. Abe Lincoln, the president. Hello on Halloween. Thank you for joining us. Honest Abe is in the place. Abe Lincoln, Fear Money Entertainment LLC. We got a lot of really good guys. Boy from Cali, of course. And Bev, how you doing, Bev? You know what? We need to figure out a way here. I got a message from Bev today. She's won some tickets, but she does not have PayPal. So, Bev, what I'm going to do is if you will DM me later, just say, Coach wanted to get back with you on those tickets. We're going to figure out another way to do this so that you can enjoy the winnings here. But I do appreciate that. CMO 614, how are you, man? Great to have you with us. We have a really good group in here today, and I think we have some great information for you. Brian Ross, how are you, sir? Great to have you in here as well. I want to say hello to Katie, like I always do. How you doing, Katie? And we are going to dive into the 7-game slate. We're going to break it down, look at some defensive rating and pace, talk about some pay up, some value, and some fades. I think I've got a couple of good fades in there for us today, Crash. I also want to thank our presenting sponsor, jumping right into this, and it is Boom Fantasy. If you want to try out Boom, as you can see on the bottom, they'll give you a 100% match if you click on the link that is attached right here in the description on YouTube, on Twitter, and on our website, dfscoachtalk.com. 100% match all the way up to $100, and you can play a play on Boom that you can't play anywhere else. It's a 40x payout for the long shots if you want to give those a run. And really fun. If you're in a state, there's 26 states that have Boom, and they're adding more every day. We're going to get our man from Boom back on with us soon. We still need to get after that and try to get some folks to give Boom a try. And we've been promised at some point here, we're going to have a jersey giveaway from our friends at Boom. So one of the other good things to do. If you're watching on YouTube, let's do it right now. Hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to us because it helps us move up the algorithm on YouTube. And so if you hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I know most of you, the regulars, have. And the alert in the upper corner, because then it lets you know when any of our podcasts post. 7-day-a-week NBA podcast, and then we have our 2 big NFL podcasts on Thursday and Saturday night for the Sunday action. So that is it. That's the table crash. Now it's all about the games themselves. Again, we start at 7 p.m. today, 7 games, and it looks like a terrific slate.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm fired up for this slate. I really am. And the other thing is, I think, we'll have some of that NFL crowd that will get, a little bit of their attention. So I think this is going to be a really good night for NBA.
Well, you've got a lot of people jumping in on DFS to play the World Series Game 3 tonight.
The World Series, yeah. Well, if they play, are they going to play? I've seen.
I don't know. I'm hoping. We'll see. It's supposed to rain on and off, so we'll see what the scoop is there. But they're usually going to jump in there, and if they're on there to play that, regardless if it plays or not, some of that's going to leak over to basketball, just like Monday Night Football does. So I think you get a little extra entries in there of people that may not, this may not be the main sport that they play. So no doubt about it. How you doing there? Is it all right, Mr. Styles, if I just call you Harry Styles? I think it's cool. I mean, Harry Styles is cool. If you don't like it, I won't call you that. But you know what? I didn't have a great night last night in the NBA. I was okay. I had some great calls, but I had some guys let me down. So, you're going to have that some of the time. But, Bull, he's proving that he is the guy. Yeah. I know we talked about it a little bit. And, I think it was Bull. Who did I guarantee he would outscore?
I have no idea. I didn't actually get to catch your show yesterday. So
what?
I know. And I played Bull, and I didn't even watch your show.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Mr. Styles and I went back and forth. He guaranteed somebody over Bull, and I guaranteed it the other way, and I can't even remember who it is now. But big scare by King of Smack jumping in here with a boo. Thank you, King of Smack, for being in the spirit. Mr. Mike's daddy is here. So I think he's going to be Mr. Crash's daddy, too.
Did you guys have the show at the regular time yesterday?
We did.
4:45? Okay.
We did.
We had a Harvest Fest or whatever you want to call it at our church that we were at. So that's why I didn't get to see it. So.
Yep. And it was Mo Bamba. So now we've also changed his name. It's Bumba. Bumba.
I thought he played well, though. Was that 2 days ago, I guess? It wasn't the last game?
The game before last, but back to Mo Bamba style. So, Bull, his price is going to start going up. There's no question about it. Because, man, I'll tell you what, there was one play, Crash. I don't know if you saw Bull the other day. He ripped the rebound down. He's dribbling up the court. Somebody comes at him. He goes behind his back, full speed, takes a crossover dribble on another guy, 2 dribbles down the middle, dunk. I was like, why, 3 years on the bench at Denver. This guy is amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah. Mike Tyson is here to knock somebody out. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Crash, now that the show's started, can you please take off that terrifyingly hideous, scary mask that you wore for Halloween?
Yeah.
I'm just playing with you, my friend. And did you see my Halloween joke for you? Because he said he's not going to trim his beard till the Packers win. And I had his Halloween costume with a beard way long.
Yeah. Hopefully this week we can get a win. But, man, it's looking rough. But not every team's Buffalo either. So, hey, we'll see.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. We are going to do a 2 brains are better than 1 FanDuel for you there, Mr. Tyson. Do not worry, we got you. I'm not like the updated pictures on DraftKings. It's throwing off anyone else. Oh, you mean for the players? Yeah, I don't know. It's the funny thing about on some of those is they have most guys that are regular picture and then some guys super close up. It always throws me off. But appreciate all you guys. Love that everybody's in here today. We have a fantastic group and very excited. We will give a set. I'll tell you what, we're just going to we'll give 1 ticket away today at the end for either DraftKings or FanDuel that you can go ahead and use for the NBA. So I will, as soon as the podcast is getting toward the end, we'll give away the ticket. You can jump on, go to @DFS Coach Talk on Twitter, and then just send me your PayPal email. If you don't have a PayPal email, just send me a note about that, like Bev is going to do, and we'll figure out another option to get you some action. So, and maybe Bev, even in situations where you've won some tickets, maybe we'll just give you a little free ticket to come and play, get in our Discord with us at Coach Talk if you want to do that. For those that are interested, we'd also love to have you as a member. Even try us out. It's great. This is the perfect time of year because you're getting all of our baseball lineups, all of our basketball and football, of course. All right, everybody. I think we're going to go after this and start it in game 1. If you're ready, Crash, I am ready to roll. 3 teams on a back-to-back. I want to make sure and mention that, because that's always important. So as we're going, if I forget about that, it's Washington, Detroit, and Houston played last night. So we want to keep track of that. We're going to, as now the season's a couple of weeks in, we're going to start mentioning that every day, who's on the first night or second night of a back-to-back, because that starts to become a much bigger situation as more and more guys are going to get rested. I think that is everything, man. I'm telling you right now, though, the shock to me is the San Antonio Spurs, Crash. How about the Spurs just keep winning?
They do.
I've never seen anything like it. With that group of players, they are winning. If you ever doubted Pop, and I know we don't like him for DFS reasons because he always screws us over and he messes with it and he doesn't tell people, but what a coach. I mean, how do you get a team like that to win like he's winning? I thought they were going to win like 12, 14 games this year. And here they are. They're like in first or second place. I don't know.
They're tied. They're tied for second with the Jazz, which is another team that's playing above.
Unbelievable. Never underestimate the importance of a coach. That's all I'm saying. You can't do it. Sarugi W, awesome to have you with us, buddy. Thank you for joining us again today. All right, game 1. Here we go, Crash. It's the Philadelphia 76ers at the Washington Wizards, and we jump out of the gate with the lowest total on the board. It is Philadelphia, a road favored by 3.5, but a scant 216.5. So that is like not close. It's the lowest scoring game expected in Vegas. 110 implied for the Sixers, 106.5 for the Wizards. The $1 million question in this game, is Joel Embiid going to play or not? He's listed as questionable. He did not go through shoot around this morning. In my initial projections here, I don't think he's going to play. Totally unofficial. He could easily play, but we'll find out. We're going to know that before lock because it is one of the first games on the schedule. Out for Washington are Kispert and Wright. As from a production standpoint, pace-wise, 2 teams that are slow. That's why you got the number that you do.
Right.
17th. Pardon me?
No, I was just saying, right. You're right.
Yeah. They're 17th and 26th. And then from a defensive prowess, Philadelphia moving back up. There's a 16th now, so they're moving quickly upward. And Washington still in the top 10, a shocking 9th. Philly's 3-4 coming in. Wizards are 3-3. I'm going to let have you break this one down because I've been doing all the talking, but I do have a massive surprise for you in this first game. I think that you're going to be a little stunned by. So what do you have, Crash?
Well, for me, it all depends if Embiid is out, because if Embiid plays, I might fade this game altogether. If
Okay.
he's out, I like the two guards. Tyrese Maxey's been my guy. He had that one bad game when Embiid was back, but I think if he's out, then Maxey's definitely in play. And then James Harden, he's still playing really well. So I like those two guards. And then I like Bradley Beal on the other side. 8,600 on DraftKings, 8,500 on Fanduel, $35 on Yahoo. And Kyle Kuzma, I also like 7,000 on DraftKings, 6,900 on Fanduel, $30 on Yahoo. So those would be my top plays from this game. But if Embiid's out, then if Embiid plays, then I'll probably just fade this game.
Okay. Before I give you my take on it, do you want to dive into ownership now?
We can, yeah.
Let's take a quick look, because I think as we start discussing everything here, I want to give a feel for it. So since we have a lot of, including myself, a lot of our members play DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo, let's go over a little bit of ownership because it shifts there quite a bit. But interesting stuff here. So let's talk about top owned players on both sides. We've got Dennis Smith, number one, and Jalen Smith, number one, and Miles Turner, number one. They're tied at 25.5% on DraftKings. So three guys low price that should all get big minutes. Siakam just a tick below him at only 8,900, which I think is a good price.
Yeah.
Beef Stew, who's coming off a monster game yesterday, is only 5,200. He's fourth owned, 24.8. Reggie Jackson.
That's bad chalk. I'll come out and say it right now. That's
okay.
Bad. Yeah.
People chasing the points from yesterday.
Well, against Milwaukee. I mean, you're going up against Brook Lopez and Giannis.
Right.
Forget it.
Exactly.
Forget it. Yeah.
Reggie Jackson next at 5,300, 23%. Şengün's only 5,200. So all the chalk plays are value plays, it seems as though today. Şengün, 22.5. Tyrese Maxey at 22. Gordon Hayward, 20. And then this group is from 19 to 15. So put your earbud to the microphone here. Oubre, Barnes, KD, Portis, Royce O'Neal, Markkanen, Buddy Hield. And then I'm going to go over FanDuel as well. You've got Norman Powell, number one there at 43%. He's only 4,300. Yeah. Then Reggie Jackson, who's getting tons of play today. Paul George is third on FanDuel, which I thought was interesting. He's 32%. Sabonis at 27% and underpriced 7,700 on FanDuel with dual eligibility, power forward and center. KD 26, Drew Holiday coming off that. We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Drew Holiday breakout game. He broke the slate, man. He was number one on the whole slate, almost 65 fantasy points after not having a big game.
That bum Giannis with 12 fantasy points at halftime ended up in second.
Unbelievable. I know it. I was getting real salty at halftime, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I was happy Giannis flipped the switch there. Scotty Barnes, 23%. Your man Giannis, 23%. So big difference on FanDuel compared to DraftKings today. How about Gary Trent at 23%? I haven't even thought about rostering him this year.
Yeah,
Kyrie,
about that.
Kyrie, 22.5. Siakam, 22. Dennis Smith Jr., they refused to bring his price up too far on some of the sites. 6,800 on FanDuel starting to get where it should be. I mean, until Ball and Rozier are back, I mean, he's going to get the majority of those minutes.
Yeah.
Beef Stew still getting those that ownership, 21%. Jalen Smith, 20. Fox, Herter, O'Neal, and Gordon Hayward at 18. And then I'll only take this last one to do Yahoo because I love Yahoo. Dennis Smith, 35. Are you ready for this one, Crash? Nicholas Claxton, second highest owned guy on Yahoo right now, 31%.
Yeah.
I know, $17. Gordon Hayward, 30%. Kevin Herter, because he's only $14, 28%. Kyrie's only $41, which really is cheap. You know, a guy that's next on the list, 27%. Giannis is $58. So people not afraid to spend the cash on Giannis today there. Beef Stew right behind him, though, at 26. So a guy that we're both going to fade, and one of our fade plays, top 10 sort of on all three sites. Then here's the group that's between 25 and 20% on Yahoo, just to give everybody the overall feel for the slate. Vanderbilt, Oubre Jr., Powell, Plumlee, Siakam, Zubats, Royce O'Neal, Lauri Markkanen, and Paul George. So that's the entire enchilada from the ownership side to give people a feel for that. Now I'll go back and my top play today. Are you ready?
Yep.
Lowest scoring game of the day expected. I have my top play, and it's James Harden. Yeah. I am going with the beard today. I don't expect Joel Embiid to play, so I am making assumptions. It's 5:09 on the East Coast. We'll know their projected, their official starting lineup probably in the next 30 to 40 minutes. Might even happen while we're on the podcast. If he sits, James Harden is definitely my best play. Think this is another one of those games. He's had some great games. So I think this just plays right into his hands. I think Washington's defensive prowess is going to regress. And I think his usage bump with Embiid off the floor is pretty enormous. And I don't like the matchups for Washington to try to guard him. So I'm all over James. I still like him even if Embiid plays. He wouldn't be my top play, but he would be a strong play for me.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody. You do agree?
I do agree. And Saruji mentioned something that I forgot. I just didn't mention it. I liked him, but I didn't mention him. If Embiid is out, DeAnthony Melton is once again a good play. I was on that play last week, and I would go back to it if he's back in the starting lineup.
Could be. I mean, they put him in his lineup and played PJ Tucker in center or whatever, which is sort of wild. I'll tell you what, I don't think they do that, though, here. It was because of the matchup. They were playing a smaller, undersized team. You can't really do that with Kristaps Porzingis. He's 7 foot whatever. True. And Kyle Kuzma's a big man, too. So I don't know. You may end up seeing Montrezl Harrell and the other dude, Paul Reed.
Yeah, we'll just have to take a look. We'll have to take a look and see. They were playing Toronto when he had his big game, so that makes sense.
Yeah, Siakam was playing center in that game, and he's not a center either. So that was the reasoning. But regardless, I think Harden's in a great spot here. Don't like the Wizards. I just don't. I think Philly's defense is a little bit better. I think they get after him here. And it is a low-scoring game. So it's going to be pretty much Harden or bust for me in game one, Crash.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And if Maxey, if Embiid's out, I do like Tyrese Maxey still. So, yeah, Harden and Maxey for me, and then Beal and Kuzma and the Wizards. But that's all depending on Embiid.
Beal has just not looked right to me. He's just I don't know what the deal is. He looks like he's just not a take the control of the game guy anymore. I just haven't seen him in that position. But and I'd be wary of Melton. I think people are going to, just because he did so well in that last situation, I think it was matchup reasoning. And I just don't. I think if you jump him, he could get 16 minutes, and then you're screwed. So just my opinion. Rico Harris, how are you, my friend? Let's see if Fred Van sits chalk massive for the Raptors. Yeah, let's. I don't know what the word is on Van Vliet yet. He's still one of the pieces that we need to know. It does change things big time if he's out. So Scotty Barnes and those guys would definitely get a big bump up for me if that happens. All right, we got the sex bot we had to knock out of there. It's a a day of interest here.
Yeah.
What do you think of the FanDuel lineup, Coach and Crash? Reg? Oh, wow. We got a whole lineup in there. My goodness, Nathan. Jackson, Halliburton, Kyrie, Powell, Keegan Murray, George, Miles Turner, Olynyk, Nick Claxton. I like some of those guys. We're going to go over those as we go. I will say this right off the bat. I think Halliburton is a nice play. I like Norman Powell at the price that he is. I do not like Murray. I do not like George today. Miles Turner is grossly underpriced and is going to need to be owned on most sites. I have to say it. Kelly O's a sneaky play. Nick Claxton getting some more ownership than normal, but I just wanted to address those. But we'll go over all of them as we go through these games today. Joe K, how you doing, my friend? Great to have you in here. And the one and only Mr. Travis Wyndham, owner of all the hotels all across this beautiful country. Game 2, Sacramento Kings, Charlotte Hornets, 7 p.m. I'll tell you, if you want to enjoy basketball announcers and you have the NBA ticket, listen to the Charlotte games. That announcer is hilarious.
That guy.
He is so much fun. He was in his groove the other day, too. Just crush. He's hysterical.
He's like a UFC announcer.
Oh, my goodness.
I can tolerate him for about 5 minutes, and then I have to turn the channel. I just can't. I can't put up with that for basketball.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is funny. It is funny, but from just like enjoyment standpoint, I just can't do it.
Well, if you're rooting for the other team, it's annoying.
Right.
But if you're either rooting for the Hornets or their DFS players or whatever, then it's sort of funny because he's so partial. It's hilarious.
Right.
But so we jump from that small little 216.5 game crash. This game 2 is 231.5. 117.25 implied for Sacramento, 114.25 for the Hornets. And Sacramento is a road favorite. Let's hear it for the Kings. They're -3 in this game, which is sort of mind-boggling to me. You've got nobody listed that I see on the injury report for Sacramento. And then Rozier's not going to play, even though it says doubtful. Martin, I don't believe, will play. And we know Ball's already been ruled out. So we pretty much know what we're going to get with these two teams. Kings come in 1-4. Hornets come in 3-3. And you've got the reason why this game has so much interest, the third and fourth fastest paced teams in the NBA. Yeah. So to get 2 of the top 4 on a slate where you have 14 teams playing is pretty unusual. So you got to circle some interest in this game without a doubt. Defense, not good. Sacramento 24th. Charlotte, not that bad considering they've had most of their guys out, is 13th. So there we go, Crash. What do you think about this game? Is it going to play a big role in your lineups today?
No, I don't have the same feeling about this game that a lot of people do. It looks like it's pretty high owned. I'm not going to go there as high, as high with my ownership. I do like De'Aaron Fox. I think this is a good spot for him. 8,800 on DraftKings, 8,600 on Fanduel, $37 on Yahoo. And on the Charlotte side, the 2 plays that I like the most are Gordon Hayward and my value play, Jalen McDaniels. $10 on Yahoo. That's just too cheap for how he's been performing. Outside of that, though, no, I don't really want to go to this game that much. I think Dennis Smith is going to get held in check. We saw what Sacramento did against Ja Morant. So I don't see it. I don't see him being the highest owned player. I'm not going there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the other end of the table, my friend. I love this game. I think it's a key game, and I'm going to have some serious exposure here to some important pieces of my build. Domantas Sabonis is my favorite big on the slate. You can play him at power forward or center on 2 of the sites. He's locked in at center on DraftKings, but I absolutely love him tonight. I think his price is fair. He's only 8,200 on DraftKings. And I think this is a smash spot for him. I'm well over a 50 burger for him tonight, in my opinion. And I have some other pieces that I also like from this game. I think right back to Kelly Oubre Jr. for me. You look at his usage, with Ball and Rozier out, And he's had a few games where he's gone cold in stretches, which is normally what Oubre does. He'll go, shoot 6 times and miss, or go 5 for 6. He is streaky like that. But the one thing that I love about Oubre is he really doesn't care either way. He's going to keep firing and keep, it doesn't deter him. So I think he's a terrific play today. I think he's still priced too low. He's sub 6K, and I just think it's a perfect fit for the pace of this game and what I'm expecting from a score standpoint. So definitely high on Sabonis. Wouldn't mind getting to a second king, but it's not going to be Keegan Murray. I think Murray's too overowned. I think
Murray's a bad play on this slate.
I think so. I just don't see it fitting. The guy I like better, and he's $700 cheaper, is Kevin Huerter. He's coming off a huge game because the Hornets' backcourt is so different and screwed up in their rotation with Smith and Oubre starting in the backcourt, and then different guys off the bench than they're used to. I think Huerter, for his size, can be dangerous here. So, I think having 2 kings is a great idea. And then on the Hornets side, Oubre certainly picked number 1 for me, and either Hayward or Smith. I like both of them, though. I do think Dennis Smith at 6K is still very fair. I mean, I don't think, that the sites have adjusted enough personally for him, for what the minutes and usage that he's had. So this will be the biggest game for me on the entire slate. I'll probably be 2v2 here, Crash.
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing with Keegan Murray. Okay. So he's, his fantasy points per game, the first game of the year, 32, then 21, then 23, then 28. I can get that from Jalen McDaniels at 4,500 or whatever.
Right.
So I don't feel like I really need to go there. He's lower owned. That's the only thing I like about Keegan Murray on this slate, is that he's like 2% owned projected on DraftKings. That would be the only reason I would play him. So,
yeah, I mean, it is an up-paced game, but I'm with you, man. I think at that price tag, it's just there are other guys that you can get cheaper that are going to score the same. I'm with you completely.
So it looks like Yami Styles says Rozier is officially out. So I do like Gordon Hayward a lot. Yeah.
I don't think that you're going to get any of those guys playing that I mentioned for sure. I've got them out. So yeah, Hayward's good. He's looking good. If you just could grow that hair back, because it sort of freaks me out.
Yeah.
But,
that's been a good spot to attack. They've allowed the 4th most fantasy points to small forwards. So
yeah, definitely. So this is going to be the big game. I'm going to know where I stand fairly early. It's going to be the trick or treat. Either I'm happy and fired up, or I'm going to drown myself in Reese's cups. I think it will be for Halloween.
Yeah. I got a big tub of them over here if you want to come over and eat them.
Oh, man. I love them. I love them. All right, game 3, sir. We have got the Indiana Pacers at 7:30 against the Brooklyn Nets. And we've got the winner as far as total on the board, a big 235, not quite the 241 it was 2 days ago, but 235. Brooklyn is favored by 7.5 hosting the Pacers. So it should be interesting there. Really nice, though, on the implied totals. 113.75 for the Pacers, a big 121.25 for the Nets. So that becomes something, hard to ignore. Pacers 3 and 4, Nets shockingly 1 and 5. Nesmith and McConnell are listed as questionable. I think they're more on the side of not playing, so we'll be watching that news. Daniel Tice remains out. I have Ben Simmons listed as questionable. I think he was downgraded as the day went on.
Yeah.
So we need to watch that closely. I personally am not going to consider him because of that.
I thought Simmons was out, but maybe he is questionable.
I think he was downgraded to questionable, but if anybody knows in chat, this is the time to let us know. Curry and Warren remain out. So I've got another key play here, Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to
Yeah,
guess who it is?
Buddy Hield.
He is he is a play that I'm going to use for sure,
Okay.
but not the key guy from this game for me.
I'm just trying to think if it would be on.
Can
Can you
you
at least
can
tell me what team it's on?
you can refer to him by his initials. Does that tell
Okay.
you?
Yeah. Yeah. I like him too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna know early. This is
Uh-huh.
gonna be one of those days, and you guys know I always preach this too. Don't ever let the times of the games influence you. But unfortunately, it just falls this way. I'm gonna have 3/4 of my lineup probably by this 7:30 start. So I'm
Yeah.
expecting to see that coach talk symbol way up on the board. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
Yeah.
love Kevin Durant. I really love Buddy Hield. I really love Miles Turner. He's way underpriced. I love this game, man.
I like
Let me
this
tell you
team
this
way
real
more
quick.
than the other one. I like
I'll
this
turn
way
it over
more.
to you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Indiana, number 1 in the league in pace. Brooklyn, 10th. So, there's the 4 teams are 4 of the top 10 in pace in the whole league. So you can't blame me. And here's the clincher for you. 28th and 29th. The 2 of the worst 3 defensive efficient teams in the National Basketball Association. You
Mm-hmm.
got to have, if you don't play this game pretty hard, you're going to be chasing a ton of points. So
Yeah.
there you go. I'll let you talk. I'm sorry I got overexcited because those 2 games, man, that's the ticket for me.
Yeah, no, the NBA keeps doing this where they keep having the same teams playing. So I like this matchup a lot. I like it way more than Sacramento Charlotte. I think the ownership is going to be high, but I think there's also some really good plays in this game. So Halliburton is probably my favorite play on the Pacers from a pay up standpoint.
Okay.
Buddy Hield is a great play, I think. And then
He's really been good. I mean, he's
yeah, he
been
has
good
been really
every
good.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mathurin, I think, is a solid play. And then Miles Turner, especially on DraftKings at only 5,500. I don't know what they were thinking, but that is a steal.
Mispriced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
He's
steal.
6,800 on FanDuel. So that
Right.
goes to show you how much they screwed that up.
Exactly. And Brooklyn's allowed the 5th most fantasy points to center. So, and we saw what Isaiah Jackson did, so I think that's a really good spot. Not on the Jalen Smith play. I don't quite understand that with Miles Turner in there, but
it's not going to bother him, dude. Jalen Smith strictly has played the 4, and he gets his. I like both. I could roster both of them. In fact, I think on one of the sites I may have done that, Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be good.
Okay. And then on the Nets, it's pretty much just Durant for me. I don't really like any of the other plays on the Nets right now. So,
yeah, I mean, I look, Durant's definitely the guy I'm going to. And I'll tell you what, I think, Claxton seems to be over-owned to me. I mean, I don't think he's a bad play. It's just he's getting a lot of ownership, which is a little surprising, at least in my book. But again, great pace game, and I think you need to have exposure here big time.
Yeah, I can see it totally.
All right, let's go to the next one. We've got another 7:30 game. The Atlanta Hawks 4-2 at the Toronto Raptors 3-3. The Toronto Raptors are 3-point favorite. 222.5 is the total here. 110 implied for Atlanta, 113 for Toronto. As far as injuries, Bogdanovich out for Atlanta. Van Vliet, very questionable here. We got to get the news because that affects this game immensely. Porter remains out.
Yeah, I like Trae Young on the Hawks. He's really the only Hawk that I like. Now, Raptors have allowed the 3rd fewest fantasy points to point guards. I feel like they're always good against point guards defensively. Yeah. But Young's had some nice games against them recently, and he looked just amazing against the Bucks. So, the Raptors don't have a Drew Holiday on their defense. And I think that, especially if Van Vliet's out, that's really going to hurt. So I think that this is a really good spot for Trae Young. and it looks like he's probably not going to get very much ownership. I do like Siakam, but I'm not going to go there for me. I'm not going to Sabonis either, but I don't want to go to Siakam in this matchup. The bigs are good enough, that I think they can contain Siakam a little bit, like we saw in the first half with the Bucks, with Giannis. And Siakam's not Giannis, so I think they can control him a little bit. So I'm not going to go there for him. So there's really not a whole lot I like in this game, and I think it has a pretty low projected total too. So
yeah, 220. It is sitting right now at 222.5, so pretty low, considering some of these bigger games. Second lowest on the slate. Since I only have like 1 or 2 roster spots left,
yeah,
I'm not going to be very active with the rest of these teams. But Abe Lincoln, yes, I think KD gets over 30 real points today. I really feel good about that. The only guy I like here, if Van Vliet sits, I want to play Scotty Barnes because he plays that point forward kind of position.
Yeah.
When Van Vliet's out, his assist ratio jumps up, his usage jumps up, and his shot attempts. So, I mean, really, that's the only spot I'm looking at. If Van Vliet's in, I'll probably be a complete pass.
Yeah.
I'd take Durant over Kyrie all day, today, tomorrow, and then the following day.
Definitely. Especially if Simmons is out. So, yeah.
And even if Simmons is limited, that's going to really hurt him defensively.
Right.
Next game, let's keep rolling. Detroit Pistons at the Milwaukee Bucks, 8:00 in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's on a roll. This is the game for sure that has the biggest chance of a blowout, in my opinion. 13 is the number in Vegas right now. Only 105.75 implied for the Pistons, 118.75 implied on that 224.5 total. You've got that Giannis Kapawi of 12.5K on DraftKings. So, I don't blame them. I think, Giannis, Luka, those two especially, they deserve to be 12.5 to 13 because they've been dominating games. So
exactly.
That is, it's hard to say. As far as pace in this game, Detroit 20th, Milwaukee 9th. Detroit's got the worst defense in the league, 30th, and Milwaukee is the best at number 1. So that creates a little trouble. Bagley, Burks, and the backup center, Duran, is out. Duran, I think it's
I think it is Jalen Duran. I think it's
Duran. It's Duran, yes. He is out, twisted ankle, and that's big. And I think that's why Isaiah Stewart is getting all this ownership. And because they figured no backup there. People forget they have Nerlens Noel on that roster.
Yeah.
So here's my thought on it. I think Noel will play the same minutes like a Duran does as a backup for Stewart on a back-to-back with him coming off such a big game. Plus, like you said, it's Giannis and Lopez and
Portis.
So, I mean, that's stout defense. So that's my reason that Isaiah Stewart, as much as I like him, is my fade of the day, because I think he's way over-owned on all 3 sites because of that rotational thing of people thinking, I'm going to chase the points from yesterday and Duran out, he's going to play more minutes. I don't buy it. So wanted to share that. On the Milwaukee side, Brook Lopez is probable. Connaughton, Green, Ingles, Middleton remain out. So go ahead, Mr. Milwaukee, 5-0.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of changed for me looking at this slate, ownership wise. I think DraftKings.
I told you Embiid was out, buddy. I knew it.
Okay, Embiid is out.
Lock in the beard right now, fellas and girls.
Yeah, that's gonna probably affect things for me because I'm probably going to go to a Harden combination with KD. I'm thinking on DraftKings though, where Giannis is projected at like 8% ownership. I'm gonna play him, but that would probably be the only side I would play him just because he's so low owned. But I mean, we saw it the other night. he had a horrible first half, and he still ended up being the second highest scorer on the slate.
Oh, he's
I don't want to have to chase those points with him. Even if he only gets 3 quarters, he can still outscore most of the people on the slate. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to fade Giannis everywhere at this point because of ownership. It looks like I'm probably only going to play him on DraftKings, even though I honestly want to play him on all 3 sites. I just think he has that much upside. Drew Holiday looked really good to me in the last game. I could consider him on Fanduel at 8,100, but his price is going up where it probably should be with Middleton out. Whoever plays between Lopez and Portis, I think I like, that option. I mean, if Lopez is out, then I'll play Portis, but if not, I'll play Lopez is what I meant to say. So I will have some exposure to this game just because of the ownership is so low. And Cade Cunningham has only averaged 24 FanDuel points in 4 games against Milwaukee. So that's a tough matchup for him.
And yeah, Drew Holiday is a tough matchup for everybody. That's for sure.
Right.
I want to say one thing about the Embiid situation. And again, I not that I'm saying I'm opposite of what you're saying, Crash, but I say don't fall for the DeAnthony Melton trap because I'm telling you right now, that was matchup reasoning. And they got away with it with Siakam playing center when they played Toronto. They could play Melton and then kick people down. If they, for some reason, announce a starting lineup with Melton in it, I'm going to go to Porzingis. I just don't think they can do it. I just don't think it's possible. So my concern is if you want to play Harrell or Reed, maybe Harrell could be a GPP shot for you. But I just wanted to mention that real quickly. This game itself, I'm not playing it at all. I people get mad sometimes as a provider when you say, well, you know what? You can't predict blowouts. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, you know what? I game script. I look through these games. I'm trying to play through them and figure out what's going to take place. And we know the Milwaukee coach very well. And Coach Bud knows what he's doing. This just totally smells like a lopsided game, 25-plus point win for the Bucks. He relaxes, plays guys. You're going to have like a 18-point real game from somebody stupid like Nawara or whatever. I just feel like this is going to be one of those bench games you can win pretty easily. It's a mismatch, and I'm going to have 0 ownership in this game, Crash. Now, you can never, the words fade Luka or fade Giannis should not be spoken because they're both so damn good. You can't really say that. If you don't play either one of them on any given slate, like I'm doing with Giannis here, it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't think Giannis could be the highest scorer. But here's my point. At 12-5 in the lineups I'm building, if he gets even 1 or 2 shifts less because they're beating the hell out of Detroit, which they should, and he gets 58, 58's not going to do diddly for you at 12-5. So that's my theory there. And that's what I'm standing by. And they don't want us on here. Everybody can say, play Giannis, play KD, you can go through those, but that's just not how it works in this game. And something's got to give somewhere. And by me not playing Giannis, I'm able, where I would have had to take 2 really fairly GPP-ish long shots on value plays, I can bump up and play 2 really good guys that I think are 40-plus point fantasy point players. So this game is a pass for me, Crash.
Okay.
And that's my logic behind it.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, sir. We have 2 more games left. 9 o'clock, Memphis Grizzlies and Utah Jazz. I can't talk today for some reason. It is a nice, heavy 230.5 total and a close spread. Memphis, a 2-point road favorite. So I'm thinking Vegas is expecting Ja to play. He's still questionable, but let's see what happens there. I think he's going to play. 116.25 implied for the Grizz, 114.25 for the Jazz. We've got Memphis, the 8th fastest team, Utah, the 2nd fastest team. So there's reason to have some ownership in this game. And defensively, Memphis has been atrocious. That's why they've lost some games. They're 27th. Utah starting to slide now. They're down to 12th and sinking quick. They were 3rd, then 7th, now 12th. So they're on the way down there where they, things will normalize in that world. As far as, again, we've got Ja Morant and Desmond Bane listed as questionable, Crash. So
yeah, Morant is unbelievable on DraftKings. He's 2 or 10.4, 0.4% projected ownership. If that stays that way, then I'm going to not play Giannis and I'm going to play Morant because he's had some solid games against Utah. I mean, I don't understand that ownership. If that's
I think because he's banged up is probably the reason. I mean, I don't know how we're supposed to really give great advice on this game till we know if Morant and Bane are playing.
Yeah, no, I get that totally. I totally agree. Because if Morant plays, then I'll probably play him, and I might play Dylan Brooks too, just because he's cheap and he's low owned. But if he doesn't play, then you got to go to the Tyus Jones, the Dylan Brooks. Even Brandon Clark is a value play, I think. So it all depends on that. You're right.
I mean, it does. I mean, that's going to be everything in this game. What I handicap right now to this point, and again, completely unofficial because they haven't announced it yet. I think they both play. That's just what I looked at. And, things will adjust if they don't. If one of them sits and one of them plays, I think the other guy is just a great play.
Yeah.
In this paced game, in this type of defensive, inadequacy, in my opinion. So that news is massive. If somehow they both sit, then a guy like Tyus Jones becomes a free square. So, we just need to see how that's going to play out. So we'll stay on top of that here in Discord for our members. We'll be tweeting out stuff because obviously, that may affect our Two Brains Are Better Than One lineup, which for non-members we'll put on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. So it is a complicated game, but it all depends on that news. On the Utah side, Crash, I think, I think Markkanen, again, a solid play. Yep. Vanderbilt's very cheap. Olynyk's still very cheap. Those guys are nice value plays, in my opinion.
Yeah, those are the two I have. I have Markkanen and Olynyk. So
I don't even mind Colin Sexton, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know Conley's back and all that, and it's hard, but in a GPP at 4.6, the guy's a volume shooter. He's not going to get cheated when he's in there. So, just something to mention on that side. But I wouldn't mind that last one or two spots I have to fill, getting, guys from this game. But on the Memphis side, we just need to know what the heck's happening with those two guys.
Right. Doug L says that Ben Simmons is out. So
yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
When they get downgraded during the day, they generally don't play.
Right.
So that just, again, I was hoping some of this news wouldn't come out right away. I wanted them to wait on Embiid, wait on Simmons, because it affects, the stuff that I sort of figured, and it would have been less of people getting stuff. Let's see. Atlanta backup center, very sneaky guy. Capella and Collins getting foul trouble. They do. And Okongwu's a nice ball player. Thing is, though, I mean, there's so much value with guys like Miles Turner. You almost don't even have to go to an Okongwu and hope that works out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, they certainly have the potential there to get that. Now, Collins, I had the other day, he was absolute steaming garbage. So you just never know with Collins. That's the problem. He's boom or bust, more of a GPP play on average than you'd want. So, all right. Last game, Crash, 10:30. We have to wait an hour and a stinking half for this last game. So it's going to be a late night. Houston Rockets at the LA Clippers, 224 is the total. Second largest spread on the board, with the Clippers favored by 9.5. 107.25 implied for the Rockets and 116.75 for the Clips. So this game has a little attention here at the end of the slate. Wouldn't mind having one body anyway. Houston's 1-6, Clippers 2-4. Eric Gordon questionable for Houston. Fernando and Ty Washington is out. Covington, some guy by the name of Kawhi Leonard, And then poor Mr. John Wall, he's out again as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like the value here. It's Norman Powell's been like in every lineup this season. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get stuck with Norman Powell every game, but
right.
Just seems priced right and fits into that rotation. I mean, he's not a plug and play for me, but I think he makes sense. Houston's 19th in pace, and the Clippers are 25th. So that's a bother. I don't like that pace. Houston's 23rd in defense, which is bad, but not as bad as they usually are. Clippers are 10th. They are always in the top 10. So I would not be too aggressive with this game at all. I think this game can bust for a lot of people. Marcus Morris Sr., as our people that have been with us for a while, he's always made a lot of my lineups. And I'm a bit of a Marcus Morris Sr. whisperer, if you will. He usually has good games when I play him. So he is in consideration for me, him and Powell on the Clippers side. I think that makes perfect sense. Terrence Mann has been priced right recently as well at a low number, 4.4K. But I still, I always look at that backcourt from Houston, Kevin Porter at 7'6" and Jalen Green at 6'6".
Yeah.
And I always have interest, not in both. And that's what makes it tough. But it's tempting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got both of those guys. I like the Şengün again. I liked him yesterday.
Cheap.
Yeah, he is cheap. I like Reggie Jackson with John Wall out. I like Norman Powell. I like Zubats. Yeah, I actually have quite a bit of interest in this game, which I think is going to go lower owned than it. I mean, when Houston plays, typically they have some high scoring games.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know if it's the pace, like you mentioned, they're lower in pace. But if you look at the points and the fantasy points allowed by position, these teams are both in the top 5. Yeah. So I don't know. I think
Houston just doesn't defend well. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But I mean, normally too, Clippers games aren't 224 or up. I mean, usually a lot of Clippers games are in the 2 teens, 216, 218, because they really do try to play a more controlled defensive style game. But I don't know, man. I just think it's a dangerous game. I think it's a better GPP game than cash game myself.
Yeah. And that's part of it too. I'm kind of looking at the GPP side of things. It looks like Fanduel is where this game is getting a ton of ownership.
I know.
So I'll probably stay away from it over there. But
I don't like the fact that Jabari Smith and Şengün are projected in the starting lineup together. You're going to get that sniping rebounds and stuff from each other a little bit. And I don't know. I'm not real comfortable with it. Wouldn't mind a cheaper guy from the Clippers, like like I said, a Mann, a Powell, a Morris, somebody like that.
Yeah.
If I can fit it, which I don't know if I can, wouldn't mind one of the backcourt guys for the Rockets. But
I think Reggie Jackson. Yeah, I think Reggie Jackson and Paul George would probably be my 2 plays as far as guards in the Clippers.
I watched Paul George the last game because I played him, and it's not sour grapes because he didn't do well for me. He just didn't look great, didn't look explosive. Wasn't real thrilled with the eye test on that game. He just looked a little underwhelming. So I don't know if he's 100%.
He may not be.
Yeah. All right, sir.
Are we doing Yahoo or Fanduel today,
Let's
Coach?
do Fanduel. Fanduel, 2 brains are better than 1, because if we don't, somebody by the name of Earl Tyson is going to punch you right in the eye, like Mike Tyson. So we need to do a Fanduel, 2 brains are better than 1. No, Batum, if it was, 2017, maybe. FVV is out.
Yeah, FVV is out, and PJ Tucker is likely going to start at center. So there goes your Porzingis play right there.
All right, that shakes up my whole damn thing here. I like Scotty Barnes and Kristaps Porzingis now. Those guys become in play for me. So Get your erase. Hopefully you wrote it in pencil, people. Get your erasers out. So we're going to have to do a little, how the hell are they going to guard Porzingis?
I'm with you. I get that. I agree.
So let's see how that rolls.
Let's see how that rolls. So,
all right. So let's build this FanDuel 2 Brains lineup. Hopefully everybody knows what's going on. Still have an hour and 12 minutes until lock. So we're in great shape here, Crash.
Sure. All right. So I'll start us off because I got the first pick this time. And I'll do my value thing. Reggie Jackson.
Okay. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to take the highest DFS scorer on the slate today.
Okay.
Kevin Durant, small forward, $10,000.
You think he outscores Giannis?
I do, because I think they blow them out. I don't think Giannis gets full run. I think he nips them.
I smell a hat bet, coach.
Oh, I don't know if I don't have the courage. I'd have to be spotted there. I mean, it's freaking Giannis.
I know, exactly.
If you bet against Giannis or Luka head to head against anybody else, maybe against each other, we'll do that. That's what we'll do. Because
okay, so
your favorite player and my favorite player, we'll do that next time.
Christian Coloco is going to start for Van Vliet.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not playing him. I can tell you right now. I don't care.
All right. I'm taking Tyrese Maxey.
Christian Coloco. Good Lord. All right.
You want a point guard or shooting guard? Because we can.
It's up to you, man. What do you want?
Okay. Let's put him at shooting guard.
Maxey at shooting. All right. Kelly Oubre Jr. and Senior. I want both of them in case his dad comes out. Small forward.
Okay. I'm taking Hayward at shooting guard.
All right. So we got a couple of Hornets again. We always seem to have Hornets.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 6,300 per body.
You got to get the beard in, coach.
I know, but I know it. I really do want the beard, but I need to take this power forward first just so that I don't have any stumble ups, because I really think he's a bargain. $7,700. Power forward Domantas Sabonis.
Okay.
So that gives us somebody on the other side of that Charlotte game too.
Yeah.
So if we do take the beard, do we have can we even make a lineup? Let's see.
Let's see if you take.
Oh, it's going to be. I don't know if we can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. We might not be able to.
Might be able to. Hang on.
If not, that's okay. We don't have to have the Harden on this build. I think Harden's a better single entry or cash play than GPP anyway.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 4,150 per body for two guys. I mean, it might not be possible.
What if we take? What do you think about Jalen Green?
Jalen Green
or Porter? I think either one of those.
I like them both.
Okay.
I'd prefer Porter personally today.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
All right. So if we went Porter, that leaves us at least a reasonable amount. So I'm going to go ahead and take Marcus Morris Sr. so that you have a few bucks. But does that allow you enough to play somebody at center? Oh, no. Yeah, we may have to make an adjustment here.
I might play Coloco. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
Coloco. Yeah, I mean that there's nobody. A Kongwu, like the guy was he was predicting that in chat here.
I'm swapping out I don't know if I want to swap out Hayward. I'm swapping out Maxey. That's what I'm going to do for Hayward. And then I'm putting Norman Powell in.
Okay.
So that leaves us 7,500 at center, which I can take Porzingis.
Oh, that's such a great play. And I love this lineup. That was a great move you just made there. All right, I've got it. We have $400 left. If there's any other changes, you know what? I got to look at one thing real quick now that we have this found money. Let me just make sure I didn't make a mistake. No, oh man, I don't know. No, I'm good. All right, here we go, guys. Two brains are better than one. Fanduel GPP. Reggie Jackson, Kevin Porter, Norman Powell, Kelly Oubre, Kevin Durant, Gordon Hayward, Domantas Sabonis, Marcus Morris, and Kristaps Porzingis. So play that. Let's all play it and win something big, split up the pot, and have a party for sure. I don't like Eason from Houston. I see his roles lessening a little and would not go there. Paul George, Crash likes him a little. Like I said, watching him, I didn't feel that he was looking quite like himself.
Scotty, sorry, I don't like him as much on FanDuel because he's 32% projected ownership. If I was going to play him, I would play him on Draftkings at 9.7 projected and 9.7 as well on Yahoo. So yeah, either Draftkings or Yahoo for Paul George for me.
Excellent. All right. I'm going to pick the winner. So you're going to get a ticket for tonight to play. You can play it on DraftKings or FanDuel. If I call out your name, jump on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and DM me with your PayPal email. In order to qualify, you have to do two things. One, you have to hit that thumbs up here on YouTube. So if you haven't done that, please do that. Secondly, you have to say something in chat. So if you haven't yet, say something now so that you are eligible when I push the randomizer button. Did we get anybody else in here that I missed saying hello to? I hope not. All right, here we go. I'm pushing the button. All right, it is Yami Styles, also known as Harry Styles. Maybe your first win, I think, as one of the folks that have only been in here for a while. So, Mr. Styles, if you can shoot me that, congratulations, and we'll get you a little bit of a freebie. Look at that. He says on the bottom, time for a ticket, and he ended up winning it.
Oh, nice.
What the heck?
Very nice.
How's
nice.
that for a call out special right there? So then I need to say I'm going to win the Powerball if that's the case. It's only $1 billion, Crash. If I win the Powerball, I am going to bequeath DFS Coach Talk to you, and I'm going to go on some island somewhere. So there you go.
All right. So for Boom Fantasy, I'll give out my Boom Fantasy plays. Same game. Detroit, Milwaukee. Cade Cunningham under 33.5 PRA. Brook Lopez over 19.5 PRA. Excellent. Which I don't know if Lopez is going to play, but if he does, he's just been playing awesome. I don't know what the deal is with him this year, but he's been playing awesome.
He's been playing tough, no doubt about it. Hey, Doug L with a super chat. Mwah! Love you, man. You. Remember, I always forget to mention it like a dummy, but all of our super chats go to charity. Operation Hope. Where's David? Where's David today?
He's not in here.
He's not in here. Wow. But he chose the charity for us, and we're doing that. Wow, today's October 31st too. We're looking to change that in November. So really do appreciate that. That's very nice of you, Doug L. And Yami Styles is saying Kyrie highest scorer on the slate. So I'm going to guarantee, like yesterday when I guaranteed Bowl over Bomba, I'm going to guarantee KD over Kyrie. So there you go, Mr. Styles. Anything else, Crash?
I'll guarantee Giannis over both of them.
Well, yeah, it's way to go out on a limb.
Not a limb there. No.
Like the greatest DFS points per minute score in the history of basketball. You long shot
see if I can go out on a limb here on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reggie Jackson outscores Dennis Smith Jr.
Oh, that's a good one. They're both getting some ownership, so that should be a good one. So,
yeah.
All right, everybody. We got a full hour until lock, and we'll be updating everything as we go. We'll see any of this other news breaks. Thank you for everybody joining in. Tomorrow, Crash and I are back. Is it tomorrow or
no, you and Deb got
oh,
the
me and
show
Deb tomorrow. That's right. So all the Deb fans out there.
Yeah, Tom Spalding will be back tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, he'll be in here with the drool emoji, his big crush here.
The big hard eyes.
No doubt. No, I do not think Melton starts. If he does, I think it's pretty shaky. Yeah, I wouldn't play Melton personally either way, but that's what I'm saying. So we will see when it's official.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody joining in, and we'll see you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS and Boom Fantasy.